Alright, we're back. Second episode. Still reviewing NXT Takeover Wargames.
And just so that we got a sense of what we need to do this episode, Jack, how many matches we got left?
So, we got Cameron Grimes versus Dexter Lumis, as we mentioned in the last episode, strap match. Right. We have the triple threat between Leon Ruff, Damian Priest, and Johnny Gargano for the North American title. Right. And we have the men's Wargames match.
Got it. Okay. I'm prepared, sir, to move as quickly as you want.
Yeah. And I think we can get through this one pretty quickly. You know, I think it was a good strap match between the two, you know, but at the same time, I don't know, there wasn't that many spots I could recall.
Not a lot of spots, but I really enjoy Cameron Grimes. More than I think I thought I would a couple of months ago.
Yeah. He's doing really great as the comedy character, you know?
Yeah. And this match came about because Cameron Grimes keeps running away from Dexter Lumis, so they're going to tie them to each other so there's no running away.
Yeah. And the one spot that is memorable, because they were also posting a lot about it, was where Grimes was looking like he was going to run off the apron to do a cave-in on Lumis. Yeah. But as soon as he starts running, Grimes pulls it, or not Grimes, Lumis pulls it, and you just see Grimes just front flip and straight take a back bump onto the floor.
Yeah. Agreed. You know, another neat spot for the match, too, is the fact that it doesn't start right away. That Grimes sort of goes on the attack, tries to wear down the big man, because he's a big man, before, like, the bell's even rung.
Yeah.
And, like, Dexter Lumis, you know, he finally gets the upper hand. And he does it, you know, you can tell how they're taught in the WWE to do things. Because when he puts that strap on his wrist, he does it real slow. It's like a crowd's watching him live. Puts his hand up way high in the air and real dramatically does something really simple, like putting a strap on your wrist.
Yeah. But, again, yeah, it was a really good match, you know. I kind of hope it's the end. I don't want them to drag it on further than they have to.
No.
But it's another good win for Lumis, continuing to build him up, especially after the months that he was gone with that, I believe it was a wrist injury or an ankle injury.
Agreed. And I'm really excited, like, to see him not only pick up wins, but pick up wins with really different and exciting match types.
Yeah.
This adds to his mysterious character.
Yeah. I really love his mysterious character. Like my dad said, you know, with Lumis, you don't even have to like really add much to the gimmick because all you have to do is look at him and like he's already pretty frightening.
I was telling my brother how much he's like Kane in the way he fights, his uppercuts, his 7 foot or 6 foot something tallness, right?
Yeah.
But I realize something I take for granted is he doesn't talk, and
yeah.
I'm really grateful that he doesn't talk, and this will only be ruined when he does.
Yeah. But and even outside, you know, that's a lot of things that's lost, you know, with kayfabe, you know, being like kind of well, since everyone learned that like wrestling wasn't real, you know, kayfabe kind of went down the drain, and like some wrestlers don't play it up outside the ring, but he really does, you know, whether it's his posts like on social media or they had recently NXT did like a compilation of all the different superstars trying to intimidate William Regal saying Wargames.
Yeah.
And when they showed Lumis, all it was just him staring at the camera, like staring it straight down, like in his usual creepy self.
How funny. I missed that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, so he does a really good job of playing up that spooky character, which is really good.
And he picks up the win here.
Yeah.
And I guess his finisher, that chokehold, is called Silence.
Yeah. And with this, you know, it's really nice, you know, because we saw Lee get called up. We saw Dijakovic get called up. We saw Matt Riddle get called up. And, you know, a lot of people were expecting the Undisputed Era to get called up and stuff. And, like, people were wondering, well, what's going to happen when they leave? It almost seemed like Gargano and LeRae were going to get called up a couple months back. So people were wondering, well, what's going to happen? But, you know, rest assured, just like how NXT has always done it, whenever people get called up, they know how to rebuild. And they, in the past months, they've properly built up Loomis as a threat to most likely the North American title or potentially the NXT one.
Mm-hmm.
They've built up Kushida.
Mm-hmm.
They've built up Bronson Reed despite him not being on TV for some reason. I think he might be injured, but
right, or maybe it's a travel thing. I don't know if he goes home or if he lives here.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah, I don't know if he lives here or not, but I do know he's been teasing a lot, saying that the division should be put on notice that once he gets back, it's over.
Yeah.
So they've been building him up.
And then you've got Cameron Grimes, somebody I look forward to seeing, and he's got Timothy Thatcher, who even in loss still looked pretty formidable.
Yeah. And that's the one thing I mentioned to my dad too was with Grimes, because he's a comedy character, he can take these losses and not suffer.
Hey, don't forget, he pinned Finn Balor.
Yeah. And
you know what I mean? Like, he's. I think we saw him, too, in that 5-way ladder match that's definitely making my, or that may be making my top 10 match list for the year. That he's as capable as he is funny.
Yeah, and, we saw him challenge Keith Lee for the NXT title when he had it, So, like, I was telling my dad, I'm like, man, Grimes takes this loss. I wouldn't be surprised, like I was saying, if they needed Balor to have a quick defense, just so he has a defense under his belt, they could throw Grimes in there because, that's how good his character is right now, and how good he is right now is that he can just be thrown into title matches, into feuds. He can take losses at any point, and it wouldn't diminish his character to me.
Hey, you said that Bronson Reed put the division on notice. Well, I say yesterday, somebody else put the division on notice around this part of the show.
And I forgot to mention, technically 2 people put the division on notice. The first one was Balor saying that he was going to be back this week on NXT because as we covered in NXT Takeover 31 at that event, neither O'Reilly or Balor, exited their match in one piece. Balor, I think, had some fractures or kind of broke his jaw. So he's been gone.
Oh, he didn't break his jaw. O'Reilly broke Balor's jaw.
That's a testament to how hard-hitting that match was.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, but so Balor's not been on TV for a while. Everyone was expecting him maybe to have a defense at Wargames, but I think they're waiting for him to be 100% clear,
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I was saying, I wouldn't be surprised if they threw Grimes at him for a quick defense.
Right.
But yeah, so he's told everyone he's coming back this Wednesday. We don't know yet if that's going to be in a match or not, but he put them on notice that the Prince is returning. Mm-hmm. And then another hint at a return, was you see the clock appear on the different small panels that they display the fans on. You see the clock appear.
Oh yeah.
And then the screen, and then you see, I believe they said it was a vulture on a stand at the very top of the stage in a spotlight, hinting at Karrion Kross returning sometime soon.
It wasn't subtle at all. You heard Karrion Kross's voice at the end. Tick-tock.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think NXT is going to start picking up. They have a lot of guys that...
Can you imagine where we were in August when he won and you just sort of began a fantasy book, a babyface Finn Balor challenging Karrion Kross? And here we are. It's almost 2021. And now we've got... I don't know what he is. Finn Balor is the champion, and Karrion Kross is coming after him.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
I will say this. Before we get that match, I at some point need Balor versus Kushida.
I mean, I'll take it sooner rather than later. Kushida, bless his heart, I don't see him getting the win.
Yeah.
That's why it's like, if it doesn't happen now, like, the longer it takes to get there, the more likely he is to win it.
Yeah.
But because, he's got, in recent memory, a big victory over Velveteen Dream. And even the Thatcher one last week was, I think, a pretty big one.
Yeah.
But it's on my list, Jack. It's on my Christmas list.
Yeah. But I think they're kind of positioning him more. I think, as we'll get into this North American title match, if there's anyone that's going to be dethroned the champion, I think it's either going to be Kushida or whenever Bronson Reed is able to return.
Well, again, a testament to this roster. There's so many talented people who are entertaining on this show.
Yeah. It's funny to me because I think back to, I believe it was 31. If not, then I think it was potentially all the way back at In Your House.
Yeah.
Or, no, not 31. All the way back to either 30 or In Your House, one of the two, where we kind of thought, we were trying to go through the process of who would be next in line for a lot of the champions at the time,
Right.
And, like, with the women's division, we were kind of like, well, who can we throw in next? With the North American division.
Why do they do that? How do they do that?
Yeah, it's like with the North American division, we were kind of like, well, they're building up new stars, but there's not really set stars to come yet. The NXT title is the same. Now you look at it a couple months down the line, there's a plethora of challengers for Io. There's a plethora of challenges for Balor, and the same for the new champion again, Gargano now.
Jeez Louise, Jack. Even some decorum. We could have said, and new challenges for the NXT North American champion, whoever it may be, after the following match. It pits Damian Priest and Johnny Gargano against current champion Leon Ruff.
Yeah, and as you said that was kind of my mindset going into it, was anyone could realistically win this triple threat out of any of them. They could either continue rolling with Ruff, and kind of trying to build him up as one of the new people within the North American title scene. They could give it back to Damian Priest, or they could give it back to Gargano, and potentially give him a full run with that title.
There are two stray thoughts I want to share with you, Jack, before we get into the match. And I call them stray because they have nothing to do with the match. One, in the buildup of Leon Ruff as your new North American champion, I have my doubts. This kid's 150 pounds. He's so new on the scene. I just was jarred when he won it, and they wasn't taken back. It wasn't the ref restarted the match. Leon Ruff is now in the record books as a North American champion, right? I never watched Evolve, so I don't know nothing about him.
Yeah.
And so, I have my suspicions or my worries. I go, what are they doing with the title now? And then there's a scene in the back a couple of weeks ago when William Regal is telling Damian Priest, what are you doing, getting into other people's business? And he goes, I'm just having fun or whatever. And Leon Ruff stands up to him and goes, am I a joke to you? And the second he slaps Damian Priest, I'm a Leon Ruff guy. Let's go. That man slapped somebody 3 times his size. And I go, yes, queen. The second stray thought, Jack, is that my brother hates Johnny Gargano. And he goes, is he wearing white pants? Oh, he's awful.
Oh, man.
That guy knows how to heal.
Yeah, man, but, so, yeah, realistically, I looked at them any of them could win,
Yep.
And I'll get into it at the end, but, I kind of wanted Ruff to win.
Mm-hmm.
But, so, overall, I think it was a great match. I think my dad agreed it was a great match, except I think it was a bit overbooked.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, because there was a really good spot where Damian Priest is going for an Irish whip on Ruff, and as soon as he whips him, he gets straight hit. Ruff gets straight hit with a super kick by Gargano, which I thought that was a really good spot.
Yeah.
But I mentioned overbooked because they go at it typical triple threat style, usually trying to get all men involved, but then they have those periods where it's only 1 or 2 men going at it in a sequence.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's a spot where Priest gets Ruff and he tries to throw him into Gargano, but he throws him into the barricade instead, and the barricade collapses from Ruff being thrown into it. And you kind of see all these referees and doctors helping rough out like as if he's injured. You